One of the main reasons that we have a weak man problem in this country is because most men are drifting through life. See, the moment that I read a book that explained what the drift was, it changed everything for me. The book is Outwitting the Devil.
And Napoleon Hill in this book, Outwitting the Devil,
Hill explores the concept of drifting.
What is a drifter?
The drift. I read it recently and I realized I had been drifting.
Napoleon Hill wrote this book 80 years ago. And right now it's more relevant than ever to understand what the drift is. Because most men are going to be drifting through life and they're going to be hypnotized by the media, by scarcity, and most important, hypnotized by fear. In this video, I'm going to share the 7 fears that keep men in a drift. Because if you want to be a leader, if you want to go to the next level, you have to interrupt the pattern of being a drifter and take charge of your life. We all feel stuck at some point in our lives. We all have this feeling, oh man, I'm feeling stuck. I have challenges in my house, I have challenges in my business, I have challenges in life. And see, that feeling of being stuck puts us in what we call a drift. But see, what is a drift? What is this thing that we call the drift? So the drift came to me from a book that I read. It's called Outwitting the Devil. And Napoleon Hill talks about a drift is a man who finds himself in a hypnotic rhythm that seems to keep him stuck in a certain state of mind. See, and that state of mind that most men feel stuck in is fear. Fear. The drift happens when you operate out of fear. See, we have to understand every single time that we feel stuck is because we feel that we are afraid of moving to the next level. We're operating out of fear. So let's talk about the 7 fears that cause a man to drift. What are the 7 fears that cause a man to drift? So the first fear is the fear of poverty. Fear of poverty. We all have this fear of poverty. We don't want to be broke. We don't want to live in scarcity. But the reality is that scarcity mentality is contagious. That energy is contagious. And every single time that you operate from a place of not having enough, you're going to repel opportunities. See, the scarcity mentality is going to repel the people that want to give you money. The scarcity mentality is going to repel the opportunities that are around you. So you have to make sure that you're catching yourself if you're operating from the place of scarcity. You have to change your relationship with money, because that's what scarcity is. You have a relationship with money that maybe when you were growing up, you didn't have enough. Or maybe you saw your parents work their asses off and still didn't have enough money. So you have to change your relationship with money. That happened to me. How to rewire the way that I saw money. So for me, money is an exchange of value. Money is an exchange of value. And every single day I say it, money is an exchange of value, and I make more money than anyone else because I bring the most value than anyone else. So if you want to have money, you have to bring value to the market. Nobody gives a shit about what you want. The only thing that the market gives a shit about is what's the value that you bring in into the marketplace. But if you're always taking, and you're always taking from people or taking from other sources, you're always going to live in scarcity. You have to be willing to give, because life is only going to give you what you're willing to give back to life. So that's the fear of scarcity. The second is the fear of illness. We all have this fear of illness. See, stress will kill your body. Stress will make you weak. Stress will kill your cells. See, the more you worry, the more stress you bring into the body. The more that you worry about not getting sick, the more that you worry about not having enough health, the more energy you're draining your body. But you have to rewire your mind and weaponize your body. How can I weaponize my body? You have to realize that the mind can heal the body. And whatever your thoughts are, it's either draining you energy or giving you energy. So, whatever food you eat, how well do you sleep, and the exercise that you have, those are the 3 things that are going to create a healthy body. But first, you have to weaponize your body by focusing on healing. See, if you don't heal, it's because you worry. If you don't heal, it's because you're constantly focusing on the negative shit that's going on in your life. Third fear is the fear of not being loved. As every overachiever feels that he's not enough. Every overachiever always feels that that's the gift and the curse, not feeling enough. The gift is because you will do more than the average person just to prove that you are enough. You go out of your way to prove that you're somebody. That's what the overachiever is doing. It's constantly proving that he's the best, constantly proving that he could do more than the average person, constantly making sure that he's taking things to the next level. That's the gift. The curse is that we're always going to feel that we don't have enough. We're always going to be chasing. So you have to watch the gift and the curse, because you cannot attract love into your life unless you love yourself. If you're waiting for somebody else to fulfill you, you're always going to live on validation from other people. Because if you feel like you're not enough, if you feel like you're not worthy, you're always going to attract needy people into your life. The fourth fear is the fear of getting old. And this is inevitable. We're all going to get old. Not having enough energy to do what we want, that's what we fear. But you choose, how do you want to age? You believe every single day you're either getting stronger or you're getting weaker. That's it, but you have to choose. Are you getting stronger mentally? Are you getting stronger spiritually? Are you getting stronger physically? Or are you getting weaker? Because at the end of the day, we're all going to get old. It's how are we going to get old? You choose how you're getting old. Number 5 is the fear of death. Every single one of us is going to die. But see, what we're fearing is regret. We don't want to live on regret. We don't want to look back and say, man, I could have done this, I should have done this, but I didn't do it. See, not be able to fulfill your purpose in this lifetime, that is what you're afraid of. That is what we fear. Man, not fulfilling my purpose, not fulfilling my destiny. But you could use that to create urgency in your life. You could use that to actually say, you know what? I am not going to live on regret. I'm going to go all in today. I'm going to focus on making sure that I create a legacy. I don't take excuses. I don't live on fear. Because if you fear death, eventually you're not going to live. Because you're always going to be scared of taking risks. Number 6 is the fear of criticism. I see every single one of us goes through this. So we have to stop thinking, what were they going to say? What are they going to think of me? What are they going to say? At the end of the day, nobody likes to be judged. But if you don't stand out, you're not leading. See, we're afraid of criticism, but we want to be leaders. We're afraid of being judged, but we want to make a difference. The reality is that you got to let the critics sit by the sidelines while you're in the battlefield. There's nothing worse than critics, because critics are only going to tell you what you should do out of theory. Because they've never been on the battlefield. Because they will never know victory or defeat. The critic is always going to tell you what you should do, but they're never going to show you. And the last fear, number 7, is fear of disappointing others. We hate not living up to people's expectation of us, but it's impossible for us to please everyone. It's impossible for you to please everyone around you. So if you only are taking care of everyone else and leaving yourself last, you're going to lose. Because when you operate out of fear, you attract more fear and you begin to drift through life. That's what happens. You're operating from scarcity, you attract more scarcity. You're operating of fearing that you're going to get sick, you attract sickness. You operate from a fear of criticism, so you don't step up your game. Every single time that you operate from a place of fear, you begin to drift in life. I see, when we're in a drift, we begin to sabotage our progress. I see, and that little negative voice in our heads begins to whisper, you're not enough, you don't have enough, you don't have what it takes. And that's what's going to take us through the drift. That's what happens when you listen to fear. That's what happens when you listen to that negative energy. You begin to believe that you don't have what it takes to lead. And then you begin to react to life instead of being proactive. See, a man who is reactive to life is always going to be weak. So you have to be aware that you're in a drift. That's the first step. Awareness that you're in a drift. Every single one of us will drift through life. The key is we become aware of the drift. The second is making a conscious decision to stop operating out of fear. If you're operating from a place of scarcity, you have to make a conscious decision. I am not going to live out of fear. I'm going to change my relationship with money. I'm going to change the relationship with the value that I bring to the market. And I'm going to believe that I'm going to make shit happen. I use scarcity as fuel to bring innovation into the marketplace. I use the fear of not being enough as fuel to be able to do more than the average person. But it is a conscious choice that you have to make in order for you to step out of fear. See, what keeps you in it is the illusion that you should be somewhere else in life. Every single time that you think that you should be somewhere else in life, you're arguing with reality. And when you argue with reality, you're always going to lose. See, when you're deep in that drift, that's when you start attracting people with the same energy. Because misery loves company. And then you begin to complain about your business, complain about the church, complain about organizations, complain. And every single time, you're not going to find people that are not going to complain with you. Because misery loves company. So they're going to gather together and all of you are going to complain about why life is giving you the victim mentality. The moment that you make a conscious choice to stop operating from fear, you begin to find gratitude from your current reality? See, that's the key. Can you find gratitude? Can you find the gift in your current reality? If you can't appreciate the level that you're in right now, you're not gonna go to the next level. Because the next level will require you to stop fucking complaining. The next level will require you to stop looking at the things that you don't have and step into the things that you do have. The next level will require you for you to become more instead of thinking that you don't have enough. Because when you let go of the illusion, how things should be, you will create growth. You will begin to grow. Because growth only happens when you're stretched out of your comfort zone. Growth happens the moment that life hits you. Growth happens the moment that you get punched in the face. Growth happens the moment that you don't have the answer and you have to surrender to God or the universe and say, God, I don't have the answer, but I have the faith that I'm gonna figure this shit out. I have the certainty that I'm being guided by a higher calling. See, that's the opposite of fear. That is faith. Faith is believing in something that is bigger than you. Faith is knowing that you're here for the right reasons, with a purpose. And that's when innovation happens. Innovation happens when you want a different outcome. If you're sick and tired of being stuck, if you're sick and tired of living in fear, if you're sick and tired of living in scarcity, well, now is the time for you to create a bigger outcome and bring innovation. What can I do different? What else can I do in order for me to go to the next level? Because the drift can be your biggest teacher. If you stop arguing with reality. Now you could use all your challenges that you have, all the things that you're struggling with, that could be a teacher. That could be a tool that you could use if you want to grow. So here's 3 questions I'm going to give you in order for you to learn from the drift. Question number 1 is, what happened that triggered the drift? What happened that made me feel that I'm in a drift? It could be somebody says something to you and then you're afraid of criticism. Or maybe because your business is not doing so well, so you're being triggered by scarcity. What is the fear? Write down, what is the fear that triggered the drift? What's the thought process that got you into the state of fear? The second question is, why did you feel this way? So now you're gonna go a little bit deeper into the subconscious pattern. What's the trigger? Look for the trigger of the emotion. See, if you're afraid of scarcity, then the trigger is that you're never going to have enough. If you're afraid of being criticized, then the trigger is that you're afraid of what other people may say about you because you feel that you're not good enough. So find the trigger, and the third is, what can you learn from it? And that's when you start looking for the destructive patterns that are showing up. That's when you start looking at what are some of the patterns that are showing up that I don't want to continue running. The pattern of living in fear. It is a program. Somewhere along the line, somebody programmed you for you to be afraid of money, for you to be afraid of owning your value, for you to be afraid of making money, of keeping money. Somewhere along the line, somebody programmed you to be afraid of being loved, so therefore you're afraid of not having enough love, not enough connection. Somebody programmed you to feel like you're gonna get sick. So everything that you look through in your life is, where's the program coming from? What are the patterns that I could break? What happened? Why did it happen? And how can you learn from it? Those are the 3 questions. What happened that got you into the drift? Why did it trigger you? What was the emotion behind it? And how can you learn from the drift? Because the reality is that we all have to find the gift. That is the key of challenges. There's always a gift to every challenge. Pain is necessary for you to grow. If you want to go to the next level, you're going to experience pain. The bigger the vision, the bigger the dream, the bigger the pain. The question is, do you have what it takes to withstand the pain and get fucking stronger? But see, pain could also be addictive. So I don't want you to be addicted to pain. I want you to grow from it. I want you to have the same problems you had last year, this year. Every single year, you should be looking for better quality challenges, better quality problems, but hiding from the drift to only expand the pain. And that's what we do sometimes. We hide from the drift, we put it under the rug, and we don't want to pay attention to it. Our wife is giving us feedback, and we put it under the rug. The body's giving you feedback, and you put this shit on the rug. Your business is giving you feedback, and you put this shit on the rug. Now is the time to stop putting shit under the rug and pay attention to it before it gets bigger. Self-awareness is the key to self-mastery. And self-mastery is not easy. Self-mastery takes dedication, takes discipline. But you have to be self-aware of all these things that are taking you through the drift. So the option is drifting through life, arguing with reality. Just like the critics, just like the average person right now is blaming everyone else except for themselves. See, don't ask life to be easy. Ask life to be worth it. Because if you're here right now, it's because you know that your mission is bigger than you. That you know that you've been called to do something that is going to create a legacy, not just for you, but for your family. I see there's people behind you that are coming that are going to look at you as a leader. But if you operate from fear, you're not going to allow God to use you. If you operate from fear, you're going to be drifting through life instead of creating your destiny. My intention for you today is to ask yourself, out of the 7 fears that I have, which one scares me the most? Which one am I living in right now? Which one is preventing me from going all in? What has caused a drift in the past? What is the fear that triggers you the most? Is it the fear of poverty? Is it the fear of illness? The fear of not being loved? Is it the fear of getting old? Is it the fear of death? Is it the fear of criticism? Or is it the fear of disappointing others? Because you can look at every single one of these fears and you could use it as fuel. Every single time that you feel scarcity, you feel the fear of poverty, you could say, I'm going to bring more value into the marketplace because I know that I have value. Every single time that you feel that you're afraid of getting sick, then you're going to make sure that you feed in your body, you eat better, you sleep better, and you exercise. Every single time that you fear of not being loved, you're going to give love because you love yourself, because you are love. Every single time that you feel of getting old, you start appreciating the journey that you're in, and you choose how you're going to get old. Every single time that you feel like, man, I'm afraid of death, I'm afraid of living in regret, you give everything you fucking have that day so there's no regrets. Every time that you feel that you're being criticized and you realize that if you are going to lead, you have to stand out and you have to be in the arena. You can't be afraid of the critics. The critics will do and they say the things that they're never going to be able to see you do and say. Because they don't know what it's like to be in the arena. They don't know what it's like to be in the battlefield. And if you're afraid of disappointing others, just know that it's impossible for you to please everyone. That as long as you own yourself and you have certainty, knowing of who you are, you're going to find the tribe, you're going to find the people that are going to work with you, they're going to be with you, so you can lead them to the next level. Fuck fear. Strengthen your faith, because that's what leaders do. So now you know what the drift is. Now you understand what fear does to you and why it keeps you stuck in life. But now it's time for you to watch this other video here when I talk about the 3 reasons why most men lose the edge. Because fear keeps you in a drift, but losing the edge keeps you stuck in life. So watch this video now and learn the 3 reasons why most men lose the edge and how you get it back. Because the edge is the difference between you succeeding in life or you falling into the drift over and over and over again.